Hello and welcome to another Learn tutorial. Now I've had quite a few comments recently asking if I can create another Scratch game. So I decided to have a go at this one, which is called Turn the Worm. Now this game is really fun. It's really easy to make, really fun to make, but quite addictive. So it's great once you've completed it, you can get your friends to have a go and see how far they get. The premise of the game is really simple. All you have to do is turn the worm left or right and avoid all of the purple. You can see I hit the purple there. The levels start quite easy and you can just make them getting harder and harder until they're almost impossible. Really easy, really fun, really quick. But if you design your levels correctly, then it can be a really cool game. Okie dokie, so let's have a go, let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is click and create a new game, because we're going to create a new Scratch game. And once that's done, get rid of Scratch the Cat, goodbye Scratch the Cat, and let's just click on the backdrop and let's create ourselves a new backdrop. We'll convert it to bitmap because we're just going to flood the background. There we go, on the fill tool, drop the brightness down to black and then paint it in black. There we go, good. And that's our backdrop done for the moment, So now what we need to do is we need to create ourselves a new sprite. We're going to paint a new sprite. Make sure that you're in vector modes. So you should say convert to bitmap, but don't click that. And let's create ourselves a circle. And I'm going to do mine let's do a kind of a bluey sort of color. Let's do a green. There we go. Let's go to a green. Oh, our worms need to be pink, don't they? Let's do a pink worm. There we are. Nice pink worm. Good. And we're going to draw the head of the worm. So click on the circle, get rid of the outline because we don't want that. That'll cause us problems. Hold the shift while you create it and just draw a nice small circle. We'll click on zoom to zoom in and then make sure that your circle is in the center there, which is good. And we'll Control C, Control V and create 3 circles all in a line, all overlapping. There we go, 1, 2, 3. You can't see them all yet, so what we'll do is let's change the colors of the other ones. Let's go darker, darker on that one, and let's go to the front one, and let's make the front one nice and light. There we go, good. 1, 2, 3. Good. So those are the 3 parts of our worm, which is brilliant. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get the worm to move around the screen. So we're going to start him over here. And when we press start, we're going to want him to go over to the right hand side there. So the way we do that is we click, in fact, let's just click there and just call that worm. It's always a good idea to change the name of your sprites to the right name. So click on worm, there we go, and let's get things started. So when we start each level, so when we start a particular level, broadcast, oh yeah. When I receive start level, new message, start level. What we're going to do is we're going to get him to start moving. And he's going to keep on moving forever until we die. So we need a forever loop. Let's just make that a bit bigger so we can see stuff. When I receive start level, forever. And what we'll do is we'll just move him forward each time, move him forward 2 steps, and then we'll go to the if. If we're touching the left arrow, we'll turn right. If we're touching the left arrow, we'll turn left, which is anti-clockwise. So if the left arrow is pressed, we'll turn a little bit anti-clockwise, just 2 degrees. And likewise, right click, duplicate. If the right arrow is pressed, then we will, we won't use that one. Let's just use the turn clockwise 2 degrees. There we go. Good. Now you'll notice when I press the start button that nothing actually happens. And that's because we haven't actually called this start level one here without clicking on it. So let's just add a bit there for the moment. And let's say, okay, when the start button is pressed, when the green flag is pressed, for the moment, we'll just broadcast start level. Start the level, here we go. And there you go, yes, it's moving, good. The only problem we've got now, though, is that it doesn't, when I click on the start button again, it doesn't move back to the middle. Now you can see he just keeps on going. So really what we want to do is we want to say, okay, at the very start of the game, let's move him. So let's put him, the easiest way to do this is put him where we want him to go, which is there, and we'll use the go to here, X and Y. Now you'll notice that the X and the Y have already been filled in pre-position with his actual position, which makes our job a little easier. And now every time we click start, he goes all the way back to the beginning. And if I press left, he turns anti-clockwise, and if I press right, he turns clockwise. Yeah, good. Okay, good. So our worm here is starting to move. But at the moment, it doesn't really look like a worm, and that's because he's only got the head. So how do we keep creating the body everywhere where he's been? Well, that's really quite easy, but in order to do it, we need to use the extensions. So we click on the extension here, and we're going to use the pen extension, and we're going to use the stamp tool. And there we go. And we'll do the stamp. Whee! And you can see now our worm is creating a stamp trail behind him wherever our worm goes. Brilliant, good. Now we've also got another problem here. In fact, we've got two more problems. So first of all, every time I press start, it doesn't get rid of all the old worm trail. So that's an easy one to do. Let's just say, okay, when we press start, erase all, which is brilliant. And also is, he actually remembers which direction he was facing before, which we don't really want. At the start of the game, when we first press start, we want him to be going straight right, because I'm going to use it to underline, use a little as an underline for the game's name. So what we'll do there is we'll say, okay, at the start of the game, let's also point in direction the right hand side. So there you go. And now you can see he's drawing exactly where I want him to be. Now he's still a bit thick, so let's just change his thickness down to 50%. And now, there we go. That's about the right size for the game. Good. Brilliant. There you go. Good. Now this is okay, it's already starting to be quite fun, but it's not terribly fun because it hasn't got any dangers or any challenges. So there's a couple of challenges that we wanted to do. First of all, if he touches his own tail, then we want him to die and start all over again. So that's really, really quite simple. What we can do is we can use an if statement. And we can just say if he's touching his tail, then we'll start. Now it's really important that you put this if statement before the stamp. Otherwise it can cause it to register that it's touching his tail even when he's not. So we'll just make sure the stamp's behind it. There we go, and we'll just say, okay, if, and let's do, and now we can use these two colors. And we can use these two colors because we put the front of his head a different color to the back. And what we can say now is click on the color. We can zoom in onto the head, and there we go. And we can say, okay, there we go. If the head is touching the tail, then we can stop. Now, what do we need to do to make it go back to game over? Well, we can use a broadcast again. This time we'll say, okay, if we're touching, we'll just broadcast a new message called game over. Just like that. And when we receive game over, there we go, when I receive game over, all we need to do at the moment, all we're going to do is we're going to do all of this stuff all over again. Pointing direction 90, okay. So we could copy and paste all that and put it into there, but that's a bit inefficient. As programmers, we always try to be as lazy as possible. So what we'll do here is we'll just create ourselves a new message here, and we'll call this start game. Start game, here we go. Drag all of this into the start game, which we call all of that. And now we can just broadcast start game when the flag is the green flag is clicked, and also start game when we get game over. There we go. And now let's have a look. There's start game, and we'll just zoom around and let's see if that touching thing works. There it does perfectly. So anytime he touches his tail, there you go, it's game over. Also, we don't want the player to go all the way on the edge of the screen, so we want to detect that too. Now we could add another if statement after here, but again, we want to be trying as efficient as possible. So instead, we can use the or. And we can say, okay, if he's touching his tail, so those two colors are touching, or if he's touching the edge, which is around here somewhere. There we go. Touching mouse pointer, touching edge. Change that. There you go. So now if he's either touching the edge or he's touching that color, it will be game over. Let's just check. There you go. And also we want to say if he's touching any of the writing or any of the obstacles, then it can be game over again. But the first thing we want to do before we can actually do that is let's go back to our backdrops. And there we go, there's our backdrop, backdrop 1. And we'll convert it to vector so we can write on it nice and easily. Click on the text tool and let's just do some bright purple writing. And there we go. And I call mine turn the worm, but you can call yours whatever you want to call it. There you go, turn the worm. We don't want it sans serif. Let's do marker or pixel. Oh, I could do not do. Let's do pixel style. Turn the worm. There we go. Turn the worm. There we go. There we go. Turn the worm. There you go. Turn the worm, and we'll just put press left. Use the arrow keys. Arrow keys. Turn. There we go. And we'll move that down here. Oops. Let's just turn that a bit more. Arrow keys turn. Down the worm. Arrow keys turn. There we go. I'll just move that there. I wonder if that'll work. Let's have a look. Whee. Yeah, that's loads of room, isn't it? Whoa! Moving my arrow keys. Let's just stop that. There we go. Yeah. Turn the worm, and then we need to say don't touch the don't touch purple. Well, I think people will probably find that out anyway. There we go. Turn the worm. Arrow keys turn. And what we'll also do is we'll do a circle as well for the next level. So a little circle. If they can make it to here, again hold Shift. If they can make it to a little circle, then you escape to the next level. Okay, so let's just try that. Go back to our worm, and we need to code the worm so that he dies if he touches purple as well. So again, we're going to need another OR. And what we can do is we'll just add the OR into the other OR so that we've got, okay, if he's touching that, or he's touching the edge, or sensing. Now this time we can just use touching color because we're not touching ourselves, and we'll just do purple. There we go. Good. So now if it touches, let's just try that, crash into the purple. Yeah, there we go. If we crash into the purple, zoom. There we go. Oh, I just missed that there. There we go. So it's coming through. Good. So that's the first part of the game sorted. Here we go. It gets all the way to there, to the green dot. So now what we need to do is we need to say, okay, when we touch the green dot, what we're going to do is we're going to change our level to the next level. So in order to change to the next level, the easiest thing to do is, all we have to do is shift on to the next backdrop. So that's brilliant, that's okay. So here we go, backdrops, there we go, there's our backdrop 1. Let's create a new backdrop. We'll just paint it. Again, convert to bitmap, and then let's just color in black again. There we go, and we'll paint there. Go back to vector mode. And then now we can start adding our obstacles in. Now for the first level, I'm just going to put a load of circles in, or squares. In fact, let's just do some squares. Now, in order to put the squares in order for the computer to register that it's hitting obstacles, you need to make sure that you're using exactly the same purple. Otherwise, it won't register that it's touching. So the way you can do that is click back onto your previous backdrop, click on the dots, and then just choose, there we go, I'm going to do that one there, choose the color. Now it's registered the right color. Don't touch that. And now you can go back onto your backdrops, your second backdrop, and you can draw your obstacles. So I'm just going to do squares for the first one. Let's just do these, not squares, a load of rectangles. There we are. Now you can do it however you want. You can do like a little underground, make it look like a little underground worm world. But for the first one, we'll just do a few obstacles. We'll move on to that underground one next. And there we go. And then we'll do, again, go back onto your previous screen. We want that circle again. In fact, we can just copy it, can't we? Control C and Control V. And we'll put our worm anywhere where we want the wormhole there. Good. So now we've got level 1, which is here. We've got level 2, which is there, which should be fine. And then all we need to do is add on the code for if it touches the green thing, then we'll shift on to the next level. So that one we can't put in the same if, because obviously it's a different thing that's going to happen. So let's just do that afterwards. If it's after there, hey, why is that going in there? There we go, being a bit awkward. If we're touching the green thing, we'll just shift to the next level. So sensing, if touching color, again, go back to the eyedropper tool. We'll have that green there. If touching that tool there, what we'll do is we'll change the backdrop to the next level. So looks, next backdrop, there we go. Hey, so let's see if that works. Here we go. We go around here. Go all the way around the edge, turn the worm. Let's see if that works. Boom. Hey, good. Okay, so it's moved on to the next level. Now we've got a couple of issues there. Because what also happened there is when we got onto the next level, then what's happened is our tail didn't get removed. And the reason it didn't do that is because what we need to do is, let's just stop that a minute. There we go. And we need to do the erase all before we get to the next backdrop, or we could do that after us both at the same time. Also what happened is that when we died, we didn't go back to the original backdrop. So we're stuck on level 2 backdrop, which means we're just crashing straight away. So we also need to say, okay, when we do get game over, let's switch to the original backdrop, which is backdrop 1. And it goes back to the start. So let's have a look. There we go, perfect. In fact, actually, you probably noticed, and I'll show you in a minute, one more thing. There we go. When we die, we need to shift back to the original backdrop. But also is when we very first start the game, we need to go back to the original backdrop. So let's not put the shift backdrop in there. Let's move it to there in the start game. So now every time we press start game or we die, then we go back to the original backdrop. So let's just make sure that works. Come zooming around here. Good. All the way around. And there you go. Carries on to the next level, which is perfect. That's brilliant. There we go. All the way around there. Comes all the way down there, and then it will go on to level 3 backdrop, which at the moment we've still got the original one there. Okay, so let's add a level 3 backdrop and let's make things a little bit more challenging. Okay, so we're level 2. If you imagine, we've got all the way up around here, and now we've got to here. Okay, what we want to do, you've got to remember the player's probably going that way, so then you need to make things go like this. I'm going to make it go in a spiral. Okay, now, in order to make things a little bit more difficult, here we go. Oops, no, there we go. what we'll do is we'll paint another backdrop there. Again, bitmap, we'll just paste in. Now this time I'm not going to paste in the black. What I'm going to do is, to make things difficult, let's just get that color there of the red thing, of the purple thing, and we'll paste the whole backdrop purple. And now what we'll do is, let's just create ourselves a black hole that we can actually go around with the worm. So he's probably going to be there, and he's going to be going on there. So let's have a look. So let's just go here, and let's go make it a little bit more difficult. Let's try that. Now again, you're going to have to experiment. In fact, let's go all the way along like that. There we go. To see how it goes. And you can do your own thing. It's quite a lot of trial and error with these games, tweaking them to make each level get slightly harder than the previous. But let's have a look. Let's try that. Now at the moment we start all the way back on level 1, but we might not want that. In fact, let's just try that. If you are, when you start creating this game, then one thing you'll probably notice is that when you get to about level 10 or 12, in order to play test it, then you're going to have a bit of a problem in that every time you die, you're going to have to go all the way back to level 1 to play test it. What you can do is you can actually put in a bit of code that makes it easier. Oh, so there you can see now I'm not going to get to level 3 to be able to test it. So what I can do for the moment is I can just say, okay, at the start of the game, let's just switch to backdrop 2. Let's just test that there. Let's see how that's going. Okay, again, and then temporarily what I'll do is I'll just swap this code for -220. There we go. And -160. There we go. There we go. Good. So now I can test it as I wanted to. There we go. And that's perfect. Good. So now we can test the code. And again, you can just swap that code back later on. But that's a little bit of testing code. Testing code, where you're putting it in temporarily to just help you build a program, is what we know is known as scaffolding code. There we go. Perfect. Good. That's actually a little bit more difficult, but not too difficult, which gets me all the way to the end of there. There we go. Backdrop. There we go. And let's add another circle. Let's go here. In fact, again, we can just copy it. Go onto our backdrop, click on Convert to Vector. Paste that there. There we go. Now, there's a slight problem here, because as you'll notice here, on this one here, then he's gone all the way and he's about to go off the edge. So that's going to cause problems. So ideally what you want to happen here is you want it to move him on the next level to sort of here or here or here. But how do we do that? How do we get him to move only when it's a certain level? Well, the easiest way to do that is what we can do is we'll just create a variable and we'll keep track of it with a variable. So when we start the game here, variables, let's make a variable, let's call that level. And you can use this for a lot of different purposes, but this particular level, at the start, we're just going to use this to keep track. At the start of the game, we'll set the level to 1. There we go. In fact, actually, we won't set it to 1. We'll set it to 0. I'll show you why in a minute. There we go. And at the start of the game, set it level to 0. But every time that we start a level, what we'll do is we'll change. In fact, no, let's set that to 1. Should we do it? Yeah. Set it to 1. So that's level 1. And every time that we do the touching color green, so we're going on to the next level, we will just change the level by 1. So now what happens is, you can see here, in fact, let's start on the original one. Let's go all the way back to the start. So let's see how that's, let's just swap that there. Let's put that back and let's put that to backdrop 1. So you can see this here. So now you can see with my variable at the top there, we're on level 1. And every time there we go. Every time I go on to the next level, here we go. you can see it shifts level. Good, good, there we go. So what we can do then is we can say, okay, let's just go to backdrops, if we're on backdrop 3. So this is level 1, level 2, level 3. So when we get to level 4, let's just paint level 4 again. Convert to bitmap. Let's do a nice dark color. Oops. Paint, paint, paint. There we go. And let's say here, once they finish level 3, I want him to go down like that, and I want him to start round here somewhere and start going down, or even in the middle. You can start him going in the middle and going on another spiral there. That would do, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's get him doing that. Let's get him into the middle. So here, if we wanted to get him going to the middle for the next level, then here's our worm code. Good. Start level. No. Touching color. Erase. Change level by 1. And what we can do is we can say, okay, if the level equals 5 or 4 or whatever it is it level 5 I was doing? Level 5, yeah, it'll be level 5. So if the level equals 5, where's our variable? If the level equals 5, then we're going to move him into the middle of the screen. And we'll just use the go to and get him to go to 0, 0, which is bang on center of the screen. There we go. That's the 0, 0 coordinates. If you do want to, if you're not sure about the coordinates, about where they are, what you can do is you can go onto backdrops, and here, instead of painting your own, just go choose a backdrop and scroll right down to the bottom, and they've got the grids here, this XY grid here. This tells you where the backdrops are. So 0, 0 is in the middle. The highest is the Y value 180, the lowest is minus 180, the highest X is 240, and the lowest X is minus 240. X and Y coordinates, just like in normal maths. So you can use that for his position. There we go. But I'll just get rid of that for the moment. 1, 2, 3. Oh, backdrop 1, backdrop 2, backdrop 3. So it's level 4, isn't it? Yeah, so if the level is 4, we go to the middle. So let's have a go. Let's have a go at creating level 4. And again, let's do a spiral. So actually what we'll do is let's change the backdrop color, the paint color. Let's change it to purple again. Use the eyedropper tool. Let's paint it purple. And then we'll just add in a safe space in the middle in black. So there we go. Nice safe space in the middle in black. There we go, about there. Now we do know that, let's just do that there, shall we? There we go. So we do know that he's probably going to be going this way. So we probably want the player to have the option of going up and around like this and down or something. So I'm going to do that. Let's convert that to bitmap and let's paint. Let's have a go at painting that again. You've got to take a lot of time over your levels, doing the levels. There we go. Whee. That's going to be pretty hard, isn't it? I expect that might be a little bit too hard. Again, you can have a go. There we are. There we go. There we are. Good. So let's have a go. Let's try that now. Let's keep going. Oops, almost crashed into there. There's level 2. Can I make it around there? Yeah, probably. Ooh, just about going to get there. Ooh, it's close. Go, 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 go. Oh, only just there. Only just. Are we going to make it to the next level? Oh, we have, but we seem. Oh, hang on, what's happened there? Let's have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what did I do there? Oh, I've not put this in. That's why. There we go. There we go. So if the level equals 4, then move to there. Oh, yes. So it did go to the right level, but it didn't move him, so he died instantly. There we go. Change level by 1. Now we could put it in here. There we go. In fact, let's just do that. Now make sure if you're going to do that, if you're putting it in there, make sure it goes before next backdrop. Okay, because you want to move him to the right place before you get to the next backdrop. There we go. There we go. Now I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go all the way through to try that again, but it should go through to the next level. What you can also do as well to make things a little bit more difficult is you can have moving things in the way. So let's say, for instance, here. Let's say here you've got level 2 and you want to make this a little bit more difficult. And in this bit here, let's say this big block here, you want the big block to be moving up and down rather than just be stationary. Well, that's really quite simple to do. The first thing we need to do is we'll just get rid of that block there because we don't actually want it as a piece of backdrop, and we just create ourselves another sprite. So we create a sprite, and this time what we do is we go to create a sprite. There we go, and we create ourselves a lovely block here. Get him where we want. Let's say here. There we go. Let's start him there. There we are. And that's on level number 2, isn't it? There we go. So we'll start him where we want him to be. There we go. And this mover here. And all we need to do is we just say, okay, when I receive start game, there we go. When I receive start game, we're going to hide him. Looks, let's hide. There we go. When I receive start game, we'll hide. And all he's going to do is whenever I receive forever, there we go. In fact, we won't do forever, will we do? No. Yeah, there we go. Forever. And the next level. Here we go. If the level equals 5, in fact, no, yeah, no, when we start, we'll just wait. I know, I know what to do. Here we go. We'll do a wait until. Wait until the level equals. Oh, it's level 2, isn't it? Wait until the. Wait until level equals 2. Level. Wait for level equals 2. And once it is level 2, we'll just forever move up and down. So forever, and for this, where's he gone? Okay, I can't see him now. Wait until level equals 2. When it is level 2, we will show so that he will appear again. Let's move that. There we go. Show, and let's just go to his position there. Go to position is now, and then all we'll do is we'll just use a glide up and down. So forever, leave the X position as he is because that's we want that to be the same thing. But then we just want him to go to, let's say, plus 87. Plus 87 or plus, plus 85. There we go. So now what he's going to do is he'll glide up. There we go. 1 second glide up. Whoops. And then we'll just get him to, oh no, minus 85. And we'll go to minus 85. There we go. There you go. You can adjust, obviously you can adjust these coordinates here, and you can adjust the speed as well. Let's just set that to 2 seconds. That's much more leisurely, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Oops. Let's just zoom in again. Good, here we go. Okay, so wait until level is 2. Once the level is 2, we go to this position here, show, and start going up and down. Then what we need to do is we need to say, okay, as soon as that level changes again, then we need to change, make him disappear again. But the only way we can do that is if we are checking at the start of each level. So what we can do is we can jump onto the back of this start level here. Good. And what we can do here is we can say, okay, when I receive start level, if the let's just stop all of our scripts in this sprite. Stop other scripts. When I receive start, stop other scripts in this sprite, and then we will hide. There we go. Actually, if we move that there to there, that should work now. So hopefully now, hide. It will only then show once each time it works. Hopefully then it will show. Let's find out. Let's have a look. I've not actually implemented this before, but we can see. Here we go. There we go. Oh, what happened then? I think I've moved somewhere, haven't I? Oh, I hit the top of the screen. Ah, yes. Let's have a go. Let's have another go here. So, zoom along. Make sure we go this way. Ah, oops. Oh yeah, this definitely makes it more challenging now. Whee. Whee. Okay, yeah, that's much more challenging. There you go. Brilliant. Good. Okay, so there's the main game, which is perfect. We've got enough to get going there, enough to get started. Things to do to improve it. Well, I'd add more moving things. Maybe you can have the endpoint moving or something like that. I would also have some kind of scoring system. So probably the best way to do is when the game starts, then you can just get it to set the timer to 0, and you can just see how long people can last in the game for. That's a good idea. And just create as many levels as you can, see how long people can last. If you are going to create some kind of system where you're recording the time, then I would probably use a variable and use a cloud variable. So that it stores on the server, so that people can try again and they can save it as a high score, which is really, really good. Also, I would add some sound effects and some music. I'm going to be doing that in a future future tutorial. I'm going to be looking at how we can use Scratch to create some cool sounds. Anyway, but I hope you find this fun and exciting. Please do share the links to your Scratch games on the YouTube channel, on the comments section. I do love playing people's games that they've created. And good luck. If you have any requests for games in future, then just drop me a message and I will do some Scratch games. Thank you very much.